Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org, streaming on Thursday, November 13th, 2025. And as we close out the week here on this channel, I like to take a little more of a lighthearted look at the headlines, really defining and refining our critical thinking skills and reading between the lines, as I like to say. Tomorrow, Friday, I am going to be broadcasting on my other channel on YouTube, and that is, let's see, over here. Living Swell with Peggy Hall, where we leave all the headlines behind. We talk about what's going on in your life, and specifically, we're going to talk about healing broken relationships tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Today, we're talking about spear phishing, PHISHING. I brought this to you a couple of days ago in my Substack, and also I've done a couple of videos here about the strange rise of MAGA favorite Russell Brand, even though he has been charged with several counts of sexual assault and rape, including with a 16-year-old, and he has not given a very strong defense. He will be going on trial for that in June of 2026. What I want to share with you in this video, I want to go a little bit deeper. Haha, do you see that little pun there? And we're going to talk about phishing. Spear phishing has another meaning. It actually has a vulgar meaning as well. I'm not going to bring that one to you, but you can probably put the pieces together, so to speak. And I also want to share with you some of this responses and comments from people who thought, like I did, that this was a very strange connection to make with children's health defense. Now, I will say, and here is the one on thread. This person that posted it says, "I wish this was parody." And there are several comments here wondering if that spear is sharp enough to puncture his narcissistic ego. Well, if he was only a narcissist, that would be all right. But he appears to be very deeply involved in the occult, casting spells, doing all sorts of witchcraft. I covered this in at 3 videos for you in the last couple of days. So please take a look at that. I would pay good money, someone writes, to hunt Russell Brand, oh my gosh, with a spear. Officer, I swear I thought he was a fish. And then it says, Michael says, Children's Health Defense, an anti-vax charity working with a sexual predator. It's quite a combination. How much of a head start does he get? Whoops. So as you can see, these comments are pretty much voicing what I did, which is my skepticism with Children's Health Defense partnering up with Russell Brand, and also MAGA promoting him at the Charlie Kirk Turning Point events. And I covered that in some great detail with all of the different, well, I was going to say demonic, so I'll just probably say demonic signs and symbols and witchcraft and spell casting and all of that. So it says, on the plus side, you do hear all these stories about hunters accidentally shooting each other. Will he try to spear the fish against their will too? Is another. Will there be cameras? If I win that auction, they will make a Netflix documentary about the trip. So it goes on and on, friends. And I thought that was very interesting that people are being skeptical about this, as I am. So I just made a couple of funny little memes. I thought they were funny. And I want to share with you what spear phishing actually means when we're talking about the digital world. So here he's doing one of his gestures. I just left that in. So spear phishing is actually a thing when it's spelled like phishing, when there are people going after your emails and other personal information. So a spear phishing attack is when you are targeted individually for nefarious reasons. So the fact that there are several images out there about spear phishing and several websites that will actually help companies protect against spear phishing, going after their digital assets. So phishing is kind of casting the wide net, seeing if you can scrape any emails and then using them or using the private information that you find, whereas spear phishing is going after one person in particular. So I can't draw a conclusion as to whether or not Russell Brand and Children's Health Defense wants to do any spear phishing, going after any particular individual. Here is a definition. And stick with me because I do have a couple of good things to say about children's health defense, which is why this is such a disconnect for me and others. So the definition of spear phishing from this website says, long story short, it's a phishing technique that plays on the victim's trust, or rather his gullibility. Spear phishing attacks are surgical, while general phishing attacks are more like, let's cast this lure in the puddle and see what bites. So you probably have heard of people, maybe this even happened to you, where somebody sends you an email text and they say, I'm traveling overseas and I broke my leg and I can't get a hold of anybody. So can you please send money to me so I can pay for my hospital bill? They gain your trust, kind of like Bob Kennedy, and then they do the bait and switch on you. Speaking of bait and speaking of spear phishing and so forth. So what caught my eye about spear phishing is that it plays on the victim's trust, or rather his gullibility. I spent the last several videos exposing these that are working for the New World Disorder, or they're Luciferians, or they're some type of occultist, Freemasons, Illuminati. I don't really care if I know what the label is, because I'm seeing the gestures, I'm seeing the spell casting. So I already know that I don't trust Russell Brand. Even if I trusted him, I don't care for him. He is vulgar, he's obscene. He normally appears on podcasts without any, I don't know what if he's wearing clothes at all, but without a shirt on. And I find him just repulsive. I'll just put it that way. So it's very strange that here we've got a post that was from Children's Health Defense, and then Mary Holland reposted it. Now, I've never met Mary Holland. I wouldn't doubt that she is sincere and that she truly wants to help people understand about the dangers of these injectable products. I have not seen a lot of things that give me any red flags about Mary Holland. And here it is on the Children's Health Defense Twitter page. So I just clicked through to see what Mary Holland said. Spearfishing adventure with Russell Brand, anyone? Visit Children's Health Defense Conference silent auction. Now, wait until I show you what the current bid is. Drop a comment, let me know a dollar amount that you think is the current bid. I don't believe it's actually even authentic. I think they put that number up there. I don't think anyone wants to go spearfishing with Russell Brand, especially with those comments, and I'll show you a few more in a moment. So my question is, Mary, how in the non-spinning world, friends, listen to that carefully, non-spinning world. It's so funny when I make that comment, people start talking about the flat earth as if I had any comment about the shape of the earth. Now, I can talk about my beliefs about the shape of the earth, but the fact is, people hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest. They put words in my mouth, not even talking about what I'm talking about. So anyhow, why in the non-spinning world? I didn't say why in the non-globe earth, although I could say that, I suppose, but I said why in the non-spinning world. And I'm going to keep saying that because I hope that people will dig deeper and use their senses and use empirical evidence to draw conclusions about yet more and more lies that we are taught. So why, Mary, did you hook up, can I use that pun, with Russell Brand, who by all accounts is, I find him repulsive, but he's reprehensible. He is under investigation for sexual assault on a 16-year-old. And you think this is a good combo? I'd like to know who put you up to this. I cannot believe that Mary Holland, who is the CEO of Children's Health Defense, she took over after Bob was the CEO there. So I don't understand that. And I don't understand the spear phishing adventure other than what we saw, that it's about gaining someone's trust and preying on the gullible. And then my husband said, why would anyone want, could you imagine who actually would want to do this? Like some guy from Ohio, I'm nothing against Ohio, but it is not in Florida. It doesn't have an ocean. And someone is going to suit up and go spearfishing with Russell Brand off the coast of Florida. The whole thing is wacky. and bizarre. And I'm sorry to have to expose you to this image for this long. So that is my question for Mary Holland. And when you look at some of the comments here, well, let's look at this. Here is the current bid, we are told, is $13,000. I'm surprised it wasn't $666 or $6,660 or 13,666, but 13 is a significant number in and of itself. So I don't even know if someone authentically has been on this or if they just put that there to make you think that they had. So these comments, let's see, I've got a few comments here on Mary's page, just a few. Isn't he going to trial in 2026 for rape and sexual assault? Why on earth would CHD, Children's Health Defense, associate with him? 33 question mark, because Russell Brand has the Freemason number 33 tattooed on his inner wrist. This person says, can I spearfish Russell Brand? Meaning send the spear to him. Not done your due diligence then. This guy is creepy. Should he even be around children? Yes, it is called Children's Health Defense. So why, Mary, why? I really sincerely would like to know. It's very strange, and I am not in favor of it. And the sad thing is, Children's Health Defense has likely done some good work. Although Bob Kennedy and Aaron Siri also throwing the signs around, I'll have to bring that to you if you're interested. I can't watch a video without these signs popping out at me. So yes, he flashes all of them. Some will say, well, Peggy, maybe they are just doing it subconsciously. Well, maybe they are. But if you and I can spot it, you certainly would think they would make a point of not doing those gestures, knowing how they are received in the public view. So Children's Health Defense has done some good work in bringing information and awareness about the dangers of these injectables. I definitely will hand them that. But when they start talking about just making these products safer and needing more safety testing, that's where I diverge. And this latest thing with Russell Brand really makes me scratch my head and say, what is going on with Children's Health Defense? I thought they should call it Children's Vaccine Defense, because Bob Kennedy said that he believes vaccines have saved millions of lives. All right, friends, I am going to sign off now, and I will see you tomorrow over at my other channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for being on board. I do appreciate your comments. I appreciate you being healthy Americans, and I appreciate your discernment and your ability to read between the lies, as I call it. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you in my next broadcast.